I love you. Welcome back to the Couch Potatoes. Plenty of room. Come on in and have a seat. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. This is a podcast about movies and TV called Green and Faceless on the Couch. And my microphone is working. It's still working.
Yay.
It was my computer the whole time. I don't know what was wrong with it, but
IT people would love you.
I basically had to go into the software options and say, like, forget about that, and then plug my microphone in again, and then it was fine. Yeah. So, if you've been following along, you know that we had a hard time last week, but now we're here with a good time. We're here to talk about, I'm going to say one of both of ours. Oh, that's not how English works. It is a series that both of us hold dear, but for you,
yes,
it's extra special.
This is to me as history is to you.
I like that.
Because it's like, well, I mean, like, it's like Roman history, Egyptian history. It's like, I love that stuff.
Right.
But
you don't listen to 200 episode podcasts about it.
Exactly. I don't listen to any podcast about anything. I'm having our own podcast.
I'm a podcaster. I don't listen to podcasts, please.
Podcasts. I don't consume them. I make them. Please. No, we're here to talk about Doctor Who. Series 14, Season 1, or Season 40. However you want to refer to
however
it.
You
2024 season. It's the first season to be aired on Disney Plus, which is why they rebranded it as Season 1 to try to draw in new viewers, to just restart a new era of the show even. It's supposed to be another jumping on spot. You know, it's just like Christopher Eccleston's first season back in 2005.
And his leather daddy jacket.
Yep.
With Billy Piper.
Billy Piper. She looks like Billy Piper.
Oh, no.
I won't finish that. Oh, my gosh. Rubber Bandits. Check it out. Horse outside.
I tried to watch a show that she was in called I Hate Susan 2, I think it was called.
Was she Susan 2 or Susan 3?
No, she was the original Susan. She, was an actress that made really bad decisions. And I was like, I noticed
the
that
Rob
she
Schneider
was
situation.
A producer on it, so yeah.
Yeah. It's like, let's make fun of myself and my life. Oh my god, I don't understand Rob Schneider. We're not here to talk about Rob Schneider. We're here to talk Doctor Who. And I'm very excited for this one. I have incredibly differing opinions than most of the Doctor Who fan bases I'm a part of. So I will be posting it there, and I will just absolutely love to see everybody's comments come rolling in on it. It'll be so funny. But no, this is a rebrand for the show. It's supposed to be a jumping on spot, and it's hard for me, as somebody who's watched the entirety of the show 4 times, to say whether or not they succeeded. I would like to believe that you should be able to jump on
making a new,
at making a series that is, or like a season that is capable of a noob, a brand new Doctor Who baby coming right on in and like watching this and being like, I understand. I feel like they might still be a little fucking confused, but it's a good confused. I think it's a good confused.
Yeah, I honestly feel like this could be a good break between the new, what has been called the new series up to this point, and we can call this post new series, I guess. I don't know. Or Disney.
Post Who.
A Disney series. That's what we could say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
it'd be Disney Who. Yeah.
Disney Who. Yeah.
You have classic Who, new Who, and now Disney Who.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. New Who, I think, though, does have another pretty good jumping on point, and that's when Matt Smith comes on. They
agree,
do a pretty good job of honestly not really relating to much of what happens before that.
Yeah.
And
while bringing in a lot of lore.
And up through Capaldi, I think, it'd be pretty hard to not to jump onto Capaldi and Tenet. It's just impossible. You already got characters that are mixed. It wouldn't work.
Those ones are definitely hard spots.
Yeah.
But to do a very, very brief recap of Doctor Who's history, this 60-plus-year-old show started way back in 1963, the day after JFK was assassinated, if you can believe it or not.
Wow.
I know, right?
I knew that, but I forgot that.
I know. I love it. But no, it is about a time-traveling alien. He looks like a human. He has 2 hearts, and when he dies, he regenerates. And that's how the show has survived forever, is that, whenever the actor who is playing the Doctor basically gets to a point where they're either unhealthy enough or just don't want to do the role anymore, or they think they've been on it too long, or there's a lot of background changes that are going on. There's a lot of issues with producers occasionally where people just got tired of the producer and they're just like, fuck it, I'm done with this show.
Yeah.
But eventually the Doctor regenerates. They through their adventure, something happens that would normally kill a regular human being like all of you couch potatoes, even a Gorshin like me.
It would break down my bonds and turn me into goo. I'd still be alive.
Exactly.
But
yeah, you come right back.
Yeah.
Or you might freeze into like a sewer plate kind of thing. That'd be interesting.
Oh yeah. And then it has my face. Like in that David Tennant episode.
Yeah, that creepy one. Yeah.
With Moaning Myrtle. Yeah.
And EL. What was the ELO? It was Mr. Blue Sky. That was the song. Mr. Blue Jesus. Everybody's confused. I'm so sorry. But no, this is this season, Series 14, Season 1, Season 40, whatever you want to call it. We had a big moment for Doctor Who. It wasn't the first black actor to play the Doctor. That was Jo Martin as the fugitive Doctor. She didn't get a starring role though, so it is the first leading actor to play the Doctor. I keep forgetting that the Doctor's pronouns should be they them, I guess, but this is bad of me.
Because it's fluid. But
I know, the Doctor's fluid, and that's another draw to the show for me as a trans female. This character, I didn't understand back in 2011 when I started watching why I was so drawn to this character. But a part of it was just because their ability to change into hot actors. I would love that. That would be thebomb.com.
That would be cool. You brought back thebomb.com for that. That's how cool.
I brought it back. It died.
I think so.
The kids don't say thebomb.com anymore? Oh no!
Oh my!
Oh God. No!
That's like AOL time, dude.
Oh my gosh! Don't do that to me. No, I know they don't say that. They say they don't even say Riz anymore. Riz is already outdated.
Yeah.
But no, we have Ncuti Gatwa. He is a Scottish man, Scottish Rwandan, but he takes in the role of the Doctor. He's like the 18th and 19th actor to do it. It depends on whether you count canon or not.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're up in the 30s. Who fucking knows?
And there's comic books too, but did they add new Doctors to the comic books?
They might. I mean, what the hell are they doing if they're not? I feel like that'd be an easy way to
I
sell
think they're doing.
Right there.
I think a good portion of them have known Doctors in them though, and but yeah, that would be a long break in a comic book series between Capaldi and Whittaker.
Oh my god, yeah.
It took forever.
No, I know there's a lot of comics out there. I haven't read that many. I have a few, but that's never been an avenue of mine to get into. I'm mostly just stuck with the show.
Right.
But I know Big Finish. I think it's called Big Finish. They have a lot of audio productions that I'm very curious about, and a lot of people have been recommending it to me, so I might get into those.
Well, it might get you into podcasts. We're not even here to talk about
that. Oh my god, no. I don't have time in the day for podcasts. That's the sad part. But no, there's really nothing more to talk about with Doctor Who. They face a lot of aliens. They go around per, their main idea, the main synopsis is that they protect Earth. They particularly protect humans.
Why? I honestly don't know.
Who knows? Who really knows? Yeah, even the Doctor at many times doesn't know why they protect humans because he just can't with them sometimes.
Yeah, because they're the worst.
The species is so fucking stupid. Yeah.
Jeez.
But
and
no,
we're surrounded all the time.
We're surrounded. But no, the reason I love the Doctor, there's an old quote I think it was by Stephen Moffat, where it's just like, the writers, they didn't give him a gun. They gave him a sonic screwdriver to fix things.
Right.
They gave him two hearts to care more. He's not a violent hero. He is typically trying to find good solutions to everything. A peaceful solution. Occasionally he does kill things, and of course he has caused
They're
some,
usually Daleks, though.
Creepy robot... Well, they're creepy aliens inside robot tank things. It's hard to describe them without getting too technical.
You've seen them in pop culture, though. They're the ones that have the nose that
the toilet plungers.
The toilet plunger, and they got a toilet plunger arm.
And they have a whisk.
A whisk, yeah.
Whisk for an arm, yeah.
Yeah.
It's lovely. It's great design. I'll give you 3 guesses. This is a fun fact for the day. Fun fact for the day, class. 3 guesses as to who was originally supposed to design the Daleks, but was replaced by somebody else.
The designer?
Yeah.
What the hell?
This is shocking to me.
This is the 60s, though.
You know them, though. That's the thing.
I can't guess.
I want to see. I'm gonna see how old he was when. Oh my god, he's so much older than I thought he was. He would have been in his 20s. He is a famous sci-fi director, one of the most famous sci-fi directors.
My mind is going blank. It's not Ridley. I mean,
who?
Ridley? Is it Ridley Scott?
Ridley Scott, yeah, Ridley Scott. He was originally supposed to design the Daleks. Huh. Yeah, who knows what it would have been? Who knows what he would have come up with?
It would have definitely been scarier.
But maybe.
It is still television, early television. Yeah.
Yeah, this is before he met I can't remember the guy who designed the alien monster. Now I feel real bad.
I said early television, and I think I broke my father's heart. But it was only 20-some years after the television, right? That was the 40s, right?
I don't know, actually. It was pretty early on. I mean, this is one of the bigger shows of that, obviously. It's ran for 60 years, but... even in the 60s, it was, had its moments where it struggled, where it's they were going to cut it. I mean, when the first Doctor couldn't do it anymore, they were going to cut it until they found, we can just, replace the Doctor. That was a common thing at the time, to just recast the leads. Nobody would fucking know.
Right.
But they worked it into the show, and now it's a big thing. Oh, I love it. I could talk Doctor Who for hours, and I know this is going to be a very confusing episode because I'm trying to keep it back to 14.
Yeah, we're going to go we're going to go back and just talk about series 14 and stop talking about the past show because there's just too much to talk about. So, yeah.
Russell T Davies jumped on board. He had he took over after Jodie Whittaker. After Chris Chibnall, technically. Yeah. But he took Jodie Whittaker, transformed her back into David Tennant to bring more excitement, to get the kids back in, because David Tennant's the most popular Doctor of the modern era. And then when David was done, he bi-generated instead of regenerating. Instead of changing his entire body, his body split in half and he became Shudigawa. It's hard to explain. But that is also Doctor Who, and the people who are complaining about it clearly just don't understand the show because it's never made sense.
Yeah, guys, it's never made sense. He walks up to things and says, I've reversed the polarity and the problem is solved. Okay?
Yeah.
It's
not a legitimate solution.
It's nonsense. And we love it.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, too, is the regenerations themselves. Shudi's regeneration got a lot of buzz. because obviously it had never happened before.
Right.
And people were kind of pissed about it. And then all I have to do is sit there and think, how did Tom Baker regenerate? Oh, that's right. There was a creepy figure standing off in the shadows the whole episode that was called The Watcher. And then when Tom Baker fell from a tower, The Watcher walked over, entered his body, and became Peter Davison. Regenerations have never made sense, people. They've never made sense.
I didn't know that. That's wild.
It's so ridiculous. Like, people are complaining so hard about the bi-generation. I'm just like, you motherfuckers. Think about all of the regenerations. They're always unique. They're always different.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a fucking show. That's the other thing, is it's a fucking show.
Yeah, that's true.
Just enjoy it, people.
Though when that old man turned into that younger woman and fell out of that blue box, that was just too much.
It was woke. It was woke garbage. They're taking away little boys' heroes. Ugh.
God
little boys can't have women for heroes.
No, they can't. Anyhow, Series 14, as we said, we're going to try to keep on track now. So, Chudigawa, it's Nchudi, right? Didn't he?
It is Nchudi. It is such a hard... I've been calling him Shooty now for years.
Because that's how he introduced himself.
He found out...
Originally.
Well, he found out. He didn't know himself until he was like 24 or 25.
Gotcha.
Like, until he had fame. And then his mom called him up and was just like, what are you doing? It's not Shooty, it's Nchudi. And he was just like, Mom, I think I know my own name. And she's like, no, dumbass, you don't. Not those words, of course. They have a much loving relationship, I'm sure.
That's really funny.
But you were right. It is Nchudi.
Okay. Well, Nchudigawa is, I think, an excellent performer. I will just say that to start. And I really enjoy him as the character. He brings a lot of energy to the Doctor that we haven't seen, I think, since Tenet, really. Like,
agreed. Yeah.
And, he's got charisma out the glorious white teeth that he has. And
he just has to smile on his swoon.
Yeah. Besides how attractive he is.
Yes, I am biased. I will say I am very biased.
Yes.
I may love the man.
He's, I don't know if you watched Sex Education before or after.
I watched it in its entirety the moment I found out once he was announced. I had a friend at work who was recommending it to me, and I was looking into it at the time. I didn't know anything about him, or very, very little even about Asa Butterfield or anybody else in that series. I mean, except for Gillian Anderson. I knew a lot about Gillian Anderson.
Right.
But, no, once they announced that Nchudi was the Doctor, I was just like, oh, and he's in that Sex Education show my friend's been talking to me about. I'm binging this show. I fell in love with him. I fell in love with him immediately just because of that character. Like, his acting is incredible.
Eric
he really gets into these characters.
Yeah, Eric's a wonderful, very lovable character, and somehow the Doctor is completely different, but
so different.
But also, you can still feel Nchudi there. It's great.
Yeah. It's the mustache.
It's yeah. Well, anyhow, in this first full episode with him as the Doctor, it's a Christmas special. They went back to Christmas specials. It was a holiday special last time. I don't care either which way, but honestly, I was kind of for it not being a Christmas.
I was for the change, yeah.
But I don't think it's the biggest of deals, but it's kind of like when you go back on something like that it's not great. It doesn't look great. Anyhow, this Christmas episode, he meets a young woman named Ruby Sunday, who, when trying to find her parents, can't find anybody who matches her DNA or any records really at all, besides this fact that she was dropped off at a church on a Sunday, and the street was called Ruby, I guess. Ruby Road. And
she was dropped off on Christmas Eve.
Yes, she was Yeah, she's a Christmas Eve baby, maybe, I guess. No, it wouldn't be a newborn. Maybe. I guess probably a couple days old. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Who knows?
So he's trying to help her figure out the mystery of this, but in the meantime, Ruby's mom,
Michelle Greenridge, as Carla
Sunday, so hers wasn't as fun.
Yeah.
But that's why I couldn't remember it. You know what? It's even right there, but the actor's name wasn't there, but the Carla was right in front of me. Anyhow, Carla gets a new baby, and it's been a while since she's fostered a new baby, and so her and Ruby are very excited, and the baby gets stolen by goblins, which have not existed in the Doctor Who verse up to this point, as far as I'm aware.
No.
And they're like fairy tale goblins, but they have a skyship that looks like a galleon or some other type of old sea vessel. I don't know vessels.
Some type of floating ship.
Some kind of floating skyship. And they, so they steal the baby and they're going to feed it to the Goblin King. And there is, not played by David Bowie. But...
How sad. It would have been amazing.
That would have been great.
But it was a nice, pretty awesome practical effect, though. Like, they made this, like, giant ass...
Yeah, it really reminded me of Ghostbusters a lot.
Yeah, kind of, a little bit.
But yeah, there's a kick-ass number, and the Doctor and Ruby sing along to it a little bit, and that's one thing that at first I kind of felt like was going to be a problem for me this series, but wasn't. Like, I like the numbers.
Most of the Whovians.
But the thing is like, I at least recognize that the numbers are fun. It's not what the show... Exactly. It's not what the show is to me. It's
definitely a weird addition to the universe.
Yeah, for sure. It works in this one episode particularly well. This, not this. I'm not talking about this special, but the episode that we're going to get to later. Anyhow,
right.
During all this, the goblins who can talk to ropes and travel through time, they go back in time and abduct Ruby, and so the Doctor has to save her, and that's what that special is about. And then she becomes
and
his companion.
It cements this like friendship bond between them. You get the basic mystery that underlies the whole season, which is who is Ruby's parents, specifically who is her birth mother. Yeah,
she's curious about.
Yeah, she's
the why, I think, is what she's most.
Yeah, she's driven. She's really driven about her origin. She wants to know where she came from.
Yeah,
like and why she was given up.
Yeah,
it builds this beautiful story of like what is important, what makes importance in people. You know, it's like who's important, and it's like I love the message. I understand all of I love the message that Russell is delivering.
Yeah.
I will say it has a very Last Jedi twist at the end, if you will. Russell T Davies has mentioned that he was inspired by Last Jedi and how it handled, its character reveals. He really loved that, yeah. And that was where I differed with this show, and where I finally agree with most of the Whovians out there, because Whovians would agree with you. Whovians think, I mean, not in total agree with you, but like about the music and stuff, like there was so much angst and annoyance about Disney and Disney's involvement in Doctor Who.
I got annoyed by the angst. I'm angsty about the angst.
Yeah. they're so tired though of the music and the colorization of everything. It's very like childish and there's a lot of fantasy involved as opposed to hard, gritty sci-fi. I mean, the show's never really been hard or gritty, but,
Well,
now that it's almost non-existent. Sometimes, but now that it's almost non-existent, people are really just like, "Oh, we want it back."
Yeah.
And it's just like, I get it, I do get it, but I really enjoy everything except for the ending. And there's still more to come.
The Ruby Sunday ending, yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you know what we're referencing from The Last Jedi.
Yes.
But not, wait, is that what the last movie's called?
Oh, The Rise of Skywalker is the third Star Wars.
Okay,
The Last Jedi is the one. I mean, spoilers if you don't want to know, skip 10 seconds, but The Last Jedi is the one where it's like, Rey's not important. Her parents are nobodies. And there's the same thing here where it's like, Ruby's parents aren't important.
But
they're
I thought
nobodies. Everybody's important.
I thought that was Rise of the Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker is the one that says she's a Palpatine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, that's kind of, that. I guess that's more important than not being anybody. You're right. So
I get what he's going for, and I do like the message, but that was the one part where I finally agreed with most of the Whovians, where I was just like, oh, all that build up for that.
Yeah, it kind of
like
it's
like a very Russell T Davies thing
from under you.
Yeah,
yeah. The 5-minute fixes, that was classic during his time in Moffat's. The 5-minute fixes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah. And you know, that's how I felt about most of Russell T Davies' finales. I don't go into the finales expecting them to wow me, because I just expect them to be entertained, and usually I am. I've always enjoyed his stories, and here's no different, because it's like the first part of the 2-part finale, fucking phenomenal. That was some of the best Doctor Who I've seen in a long time. I love the finale. What was it called?
The Legend of Ruby Sunday. I don't even think I said what the title of the first was. It's called The Church on Ruby Road.
But Empire of Death, the second part of the finale, meh.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah,
it's not what I wanted it to be, but I still enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the villain. I did a lot, and I think we can go ahead and talk about it. But maybe I will put up a soda pop break here and a spoiler wall.
Okay. Brick. If you don't want your spoilers, go to 40:45. You're welcome. I love you.
So
I'll allow it.
We're here, and behind the spoiler wall, we're safe. It's been bricked up, and we haven't built one in a long time. It hurt our backs.
Oh yeah, we used to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brick.
And we haven't done it in a long time. We're out of shape, and I think I pulled something. But anyways, at the end of the Legend of Ruby Tuesday. At the end of the Legend of Ruby Sunday, we find out that this woman named Susan Triad, whose face has been popping up across the entire series, and she is like some kind of tech billionaire as well, and she's trying to come out with this really philanthropic technology that allowed people to charge their batteries like whenever or whatever the fuck, I don't know. It's very Tesla, and I don't mean the car company. So you find out that she is a avatar of Sutek. So, so I'm not entirely sure how all that goes, because Doctor Who gets confusing and kabobbled. But Sutek is like the Egyptian Satan, just to give a quick overview.
Yes. Yeah. It's great. He was an old villain of the 4th Doctor. He literally appears in like one episode. Well, it's one story. It's like 4 episodes. But he was a very difficult villain to beat, but the Doctor bested him. The Doctor kept him trapped in the time vortex, and he was just like, there, I sent him forward to his death.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. That's done. Let's move on to the next adventure.
Yep, all done.
Yep. I mean, he almost even does that. Like, Tom Baker was goofy. I loved him. But that was it. That was all of Sutek for years. And for 40 years.
A lot of years.
And then they brought back the actor. They brought back the actor himself to do the voice, which is great.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah, I love it. Like, that's really cool. I love that they kept it in family, just kept the same classic actor. And that was another thing. I love finding these classic pieces that they can bring back. They did that with the specials with David Tennant when when Russell D Davies came back to the show, and right before David Tennant bi-generated into Shooty, they brought back the Toymaker, played by this time around by Neil Patrick Harris. Way back in the first Doctor's era, the Toymaker was played by Michael Gough, Gough.
He was very handsome. I thought he was Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, he definitely has a Timothy Dalton look. Yeah. Well, young him did. Yeah. He's in a lot of like Tim Burton movies in his older years, like Sleepy Hollow and stuff like that. He was Alfred in the Michael Keaton Batman movies.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay, yes, I remember.
Yeah. But yeah, they're bringing back all these like old classic hero or villains who have kind of just slipped into the ether, who've been forgotten. Yeah. And I fucking love it. I really love that stuff.
Oh, and I think they should do it every series, bring back a classic villain.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and they're definitely doing something with, there's a creepy neighbor next door, Mrs. Flood.
Which we thought was the same face, but wasn't. If I recall,
no, exactly.
We both thought it was the same woman as Susan, but it wasn't. It is, so that is to say she's another older woman.
Well, I mean, at first, like, the lady who plays Susan, whose name is literally Susan Twist, I think.
Yeah.
She's in a bunch of costumes throughout most of her different roles. Like, she's constantly switching makeup and looks.
Right.
So I was just like, maybe they are doing that to Anita Dobson, who plays Mrs. Flood.
Right.
For the first 2 episodes, I was just like, maybe it is, like, supposed to be a young Mrs. Flood. Right. And, but no, that was not the case, of course. We still don't know who Mrs. Flood is.
We don't.
One thing we do know...
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if this is like a reveal for you, but she's constantly wearing the clothes of the Doctor's former companions.
That's
like
pretty
every
wild.
single time. Yeah, every single time she's on shot, she's wearing a former companion's clothing, and it is so weird.
But she also like knows about the TARDIS and the Doctor. She hints at it.
Yeah.
Which is weird because the first thing she says is she's acting like she doesn't know, but it's whatever.
Yeah. Which is like why I'm wondering if maybe there was an actual Mrs. Flood and she's been replaced by this person, by this alien.
Yeah.
Speculative podcast, here we are.
Who knows? With Sutek hitching a ride on the TARDIS all those years.
Yeah. Which is hilarious when you think about it.
Who knows what he could have set up.
Yeah.
So another name for Sutek is Set. If there's people out there being like, man, I don't remember Sutek. Set is kind of I think is the more popular name. Set or Seth.
Well, if you're talking Egyptian,
right,
if you're talking Doctor Who,
yeah, of course. I'm just saying that if that helps people.
Yeah.
Ring a bell.
If the Egyptian historians were listening in and didn't know.
Didn't know that their name was Sutek. Yeah. I guess if you would know Set, you probably would know Sutek, I guess.
The reveal, though, I loved it. There was there were so many fan theories before the big reveal, and people were just like, who is it going to actually be Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter? Is it going to be, there's so many ideas. And then I randomly just saw one person say, guys, Susan Technologies, it's fucking Sutek. Yeah. And I went, that's hilarious. That would be so funny. And then as I'm watching the episode and the reveal happens, I was screaming at the TV. I was like, oh my god, it's fucking Sutek. It was a great reveal. I fucking loved it. I don't care that the episode after it was mildly just like, yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
The reveal, the setup, that's classic Doctor Who. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And they brought back an old companion in Bonnie Langford. She was a Colin Baker companion. And I love it. I love that they do that. It's nice that they're bringing back all these classic elements, keeping the show alive.
Yeah, they brought back Unit.
Yeah, with Lethbridge's daughter, and she's been in more than
several series.
Like Gemma Redgrave is very near and dear to the show now, and they're continuously growing it. There's a lot more Unit characters. There was Lenny Rush, who was added. He was a young. How did they describe him? He's he's a child who gained crazy intelligence when a comet passed close to Earth.
Is that what happened?
I don't remember. I don't remember. They mentioned something that
I do really enjoy.
He's wonderful. I love his. He's a great addition.
So they are. Excuse me. He is a little person, and I honestly thought that he resembled Warwick. I was going to say Warwick Parker, but that's not right.
Warwick Davis.
Jesus. But I felt like that he resembled him enough that I did do some research to find out what, if they were related. But it turns out that they have the same diagnosis.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
And Lenny Rush is actually young. Like, I can't remember his exact age.
Oh, he's very young looking. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, for a young actor, he did an amazing job.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was, on the new people that for Unit, I thought he was the best actor out of all of them.
Yeah.
For sure.
I do like Ibrahim, the colonel that is so clearly dating Kate Lethbridge Stewart. Like,
yeah.
Like, 100% they gotta be dating.
They'll reveal it next season.
Yeah. Probably not even next season. They'll probably reveal it in the there's a spinoff going to be happening.
A Unit spinoff?
Yeah, it's like the War of the Land and the Sea or whatever, something like that. It's a Sea Devils versus. It's interesting. Yeah, it got the okay by Disney. So
the Sea Devils, huh?
We'll find out how that goes. Yeah. So can't
Last
let them die.
time they did that, it was okay.
It wasn't. We were dying laughing at that episode. Oh my gosh! When the one jumps up. There's that one Sea Devil who jumps up to the helicopter. It's like, boing! He just floats 20 feet up in the air. Oh, it's good shit, boy. Man. Good shit.
So before we leave the spoiler wall, I do want to talk about Maestro. Because you mentioned the Toy Maker. So the Toy Maker and Maestro were... Well, I mean, the Toy Maker's an old enemy, just like Sutek is. But he and Maestro, who is their child, and Harbinger are all part of the same, weird cosmetic pantheon. I think I just made up.
Yeah,
cosmetic.
The Harbinger is not part of the pantheon. I will say that.
Okay.
If I gotta be nitpicky, sorry, that was me being actually about Doctor Who. But no, the Harbinger, every god has their own Harbinger. It's like, the classic story. They send their own Horsemen of the Apocalypse kind of thing.
So they're like a celestial.
Yeah. And it was really interesting. It's a new pantheon for Doctor Who, which I fucking love.
Love it. I'm ready to see more of it.
Yeah. People have been, for years and years, speculating this pantheon and where it all fits in. And, it's like... There's definitely been gods or Eternals or whatever you want to call them before all of this. And who's to say the Doctor's not one of them as well?
Yeah, I kind of think so.
The Doctor
with what
very
Chibnall
clearly
did, it's very, very possible.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the other thing, is people were complaining about Chibnall. I thought that was such a bold
show.
And...
Yeah, it really opened up to what the show could be in the future, because... I mean, if we didn't make some kind of big change like that, and I'm not going to say Chibnall's run was very good.
I'm not going to... Yeah, it's not the greatest.
No, but it was a good
idea.
Yeah, it really did open up the show for the future, so I hope they don't just retcon it with something, because I think it's interesting. I really enjoyed the episodes that had the refugee doctor. Is that what she's referred to as?
The fugitive. Joe Martin. No, I don't think Russell T Davies has any plans to retcon it. It seems like he's definitely running with it. And And my argument for it is that, all of the gods that we have seen, the Toymaker, Maestro, who's amazingly played by Jinx Monsoon, I really hope Jinx Monsoon comes back for the show because they are just a phenomenal fucking villain. Knocked it out of the park. I was in love.
But I can't tell if they like or hate music. I just,
I know. It's just, they like it so much that they want no one else to have it but them. I just fucking love them as this villain. They were so over the top, so hammy that it was perfect for classic Who. But all of these gods, all of these whatever you want to call them, these Eternals or whatever, they all break the fourth wall. They all at some point look straight through the camera. And the Doctor does that too in this season.
In this series,
there's a moment in the Maestro episode he looks right at the camera and winks, and I'm like, I think that is Russell saying that he's part of the Pantheon too. I think the Doctor, it just makes sense. The Doctor is, if not the fucking head of the Pantheon, he's on the Pantheon. He's somewhere in there.
I think he might be the timekeeper.
Gotta
he's work the god it of time. Into that. Yeah, gotta work it into their naming scheme. Anyhow, I think we're done with the spoiler wall, maybe, and maybe we could talk about real quickly what our favorite episodes were. Just if you had to pick one for this series.
If I had to pick one, it's a very difficult one. There were a lot of really, really good ones. I mean, we've already mentioned, the Devil's Core with Maestro. And I feel like Dot and Bubble had the best performance from Shudigawa, to throw that out there, when he reacts to the horrible racism in that episode. Yeah. I think that was award-winning performance, and that was his very first time in the role. He jumped right. That was the very first thing he recorded as the Doctor, and it's so cool. That was one of the most moving performances throughout the whole season. But I don't know, there's so many fun ones. Rogue is fun. I really love the Sutek reveal in The Legend of Ruby Sunday, but I think Boom is my favorite episode. It was written by Stephen Moffat. They brought Stephen Moffat back for 2 episodes, this one and the upcoming Christmas special this year. Very excited. But Boom has the Doctor completely out of his element.
Yeah.
He literally, the very first thing he does at the beginning of the episode is he steps on a landmine, and he is stuck on that landmine for the entirety of the episode, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And for an actor like Shudi, who is very fluid, very emotional, emotional, that is. Sorry.
Oh yeah, he is that too.
Yeah, and he also uses his body. He is mobile, when he acts, he is very vibrant with his movements.
Yes.
And so taking all of that away from him and forcing him to stand still, forcing him to act solely with his face, with his eyes, it was beautiful. I fucking love that entire episode.
He did do a great job.
I watched it over and over again. But it was so good.
I cared less about this episode, I will say. I did think, when I watched it, I thought it was good. But because he's standing in one place the whole time, I don't remember what else happens in the episode. But yeah, I get the real time feeling of that episode, how that was cool. Watching it was cool, and I didn't watch it a second or third time.
It's also likely that they might revisit that episode because the female soldier in that episode, that actor at least, is going to be his next companion.
Oh hell yeah!
The next season.
Yeah. Well, didn't they kind of did that with Martha though too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did, yeah.
Yeah.
But they might make it more meaningful in this, whereas Martha was just kind of like, please overlook the fact that we've already had her. We just really liked her and brought her back.
And she was amazing, and I think got the short end of the stick because the writers wanted...
Oh, hell yes.
Dave Tennant to be angsty.
God damn it.
I know, she was great.
Yeah, their treatment of Martha was so upsetting.
But then we did get the Dr. Donna. Okay.
Boom was my favorite. What was your favorite?
So that leaves me to decide between Rogue and 73 Yards, and I think
both great episodes.
They're both really good. So 73 Yards, just to put, just to compare that with Boom, how he's standing in one place the whole time. The Doctor's not even in this episode, basically.
Yeah. They call these episodes Dr. Light.
Dr. Light.
Lite.
Okay. Well, something happens, some magic happens that they don't even explain, really. They don't.
Not really.
And the Doctor leaves, and Ruby is stuck in Wales. But she lives her life, and she helps assassinate someone. No, that's not what happens.
Yeah, for fucking real. So she's haunted by there's a figure,
yes,
exactly 73 yards away from her,
right,
who's just doing these creepy movements, and whenever she asks somebody to go up to that figure, they look back at her, scream, and run away, and never talk to her ever again.
Yeah. It's incredibly frustrating for Ruby, and you can tell that through her acting. And this is what's Ruby's actor's name?
Millie Gibson.
Millie Gibson is a very young actor. And she does an amazing job. Yes, and eventually she has to play a bit older too when she's being the aide to who's supposed to be the worst prime minister of history. And
he causes like a nuclear holocaust.
Yes, yeah. And so she basically assassinates his career because he does just run away. Yeah. Anyhow, the ending of that, the reveal of that ending, I mean, I kind of saw it coming after a while, but it's still just like a classic cyclical story.
Yeah, 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah. And when they come back to Ruby and the Doctor being together, it's as if nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was the same complaint about what we were talking about for the whole series. But it's different because they earned it. Like you said, what Russell T Davies was trying to say with the ending of the series, I think is great. I just it needed, so I think it needed the 20 minutes of the Doctor doing the work to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
That, and also I just don't think it's done. I think there's still more to explain, and they're going to explain it going forward. I truly don't think that she's just a normal person.
Yeah, it could be a distraction. Yeah, maybe once again he was inspired by Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to find out that she's actually a Dalek.
Yeah. They've done that, though.
Like Clara.
Yeah,
with Clara. The Impossible Girl. Oh my gosh, them and their companions.
So what do you give this series?
To close on it, I fucking love it. I know people are hating on it, but yeah, I fucking love it. I don't know, I love Ncuti as the Doctor. I think he's one of the best actors we've ever had play the Doctor. Yeah. He's already in my top 3 favorites just because of his charisma alone, and if he keeps it up, if he keeps this run going for a long time, he could easily be my favorite. And I am biased, I know that. He's a handsome man. Okay?
Very
there's a reason David Tennant was my favorite for the longest time and still is my favorite. David, if you're out there,
David, come be on the show.
You're still my favorite. Yes, please. Yeah. I love you. But no, Ncuti's great, and so is Millie Gibson as the companion. She's been a very, very good, strongly utilized character. Doctor Who has a history of not using their companions very well.
Right.
And I think they utilized her really well. They gave her so many great moments. 73 Yards by itself is a great companion
it
side
helps
piece.
When they make it about the companion. It hasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
It hasn't worked very well when they haven't.
Yeah, and sometimes they lean too heavily on it too.
Right.
There's still got to be a mystery about the Doctor as well, and I think this season played it really well. They kept everything intact, and I understand people's complaints about the Disneyfication of it, but I'm loving it. And as an American who had to not pirate the show at all for years. Never. The fact that it's readily available the fucking day it comes out is absolute heaven.
Yeah.
And I understand why England's mad. I know that they had to wait. You know, it's like the episode dropped on midnight for them, and they're not going to have to stay up and wait that long. I get it. I do get it. But seriously, think about how petty you have to be complaining about the fact that you don't get a TV show earlier than everybody else. Be fucking happy that everybody else can watch this TV show.
It. Yeah, everybody's going to watch it just like you.
It really just pisses me off that everybody's like, it needs to get off of Disney. It's such bullshit. Bitches, I've never been able to watch this show when it comes out, and now it's there for me. Yeah. I finally have this opportunity. Why do you want to take that away from fans? Like, I don't understand it at all. And it helps the show give it more money. And I understand, again, that, like, all these people think it's going to be canceled and everything. Fine. If you think that, then stop watching it and shut the fuck up. You're the reason people think it's going to be canceled in the first place. Everybody else is just enjoying the damn show. I give it 5 stars. I fucking loved this season.
Yeah, it was really so good. I give it a face and a half. I really did enjoy it. Enjoyed watching the episodes with you that we caught together. And that was nice. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And it's something that you introduced me to, so we get to love it together. So that's great.
Yay. Yeah. Yes. And someday I'll fall in love, and that love of mine will just sit on the couch and watch Doctor Who forever.
Their hair will be really long and dyed like Tom Baker's scarf.
And they will have a Scottish accent.
Yes. Well, that's been our show. It's been a lovely time.
I hope it made sense.
You know what?
If you really...
It's about Doctor Who. It doesn't have to.
That's very fair. But if you are interested, obviously you can go down to patreon.com/greenandfaceless. That's where our Patreon subscription is. You get a lot of opportunities there. But you can also check out my blog, greentravelerreviews.blog. I post a lot of Doctor Who reviews there, where I'm currently rewatching the show. As I rewatch each episode, each story arc, I will post about it. So if you want to read more, you can check that out. Until then, the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
Well, I think you said goodbye to them, but you're a robot now. I am the Faceless Leon. Safe travels and good night.